Let's look at an example now on heart rates. And a heart rate is a very special application of ratios and rates. So normally heart rate is measured in beats per minute. So anyone wants to quote a heart rate, or anytime you see a heart rate quoted, normally it's number of beats, your heart beats over a time period of 1 minute. Let's have a look at this example. So example 1. A person's heart was measured to beat 35 times in 30 seconds. So at that rate, okay, so assuming the rate doesn't change, how many times will that person's heart beat over 1 year? And we're going to assume that 1 year is 365 days, okay, so to make the calculation just a little bit simpler. Okay, so how are we going to do that? So maybe the first thing we do is maybe we convert the 35 beats in 30 seconds, we convert it to something that's a bit more appropriate, a bit easier to work with. Let's convert it into beats per minute. So 35 beats, okay, per 30 seconds, okay. If you multiply both of these terms of the rate by 2, okay, 35 beats in 30 seconds corresponds to 70 beats, okay, per minute. Okay, so now it's a case of, well, okay, how many minutes are there in an hour, how many hours in a day, and then how many days in a year, and then we've answered the question. So it's always good to think ahead a little bit and to think, well, okay, normally with a lot of mathematics solutions, start with the end in mind. We want 365 days. How do minutes fit into the grand scheme of things when we're talking about converting minutes into days, okay, or looking at moving from a time unit of minutes to a time unit of days or years. Okay, so minutes, we can convert that into beats per hour. So if we multiply that by 60, and obviously that by 60 minutes is 1 hour. Okay, so that's going to be 4,200, okay, or 4,200 beats per hour. Okay, so now that we have it in beats per hour, okay, so 4,000, I'll just continue it on down here, so 4,200 beats, okay, per hour. Let's now convert it into beats per day. Okay, so minutes, very easy to convert minutes into a rate per hour by multiplying it by 60. Beats per hour into beats per day, over a space of a day, we can multiply both by 24. After all, 24 hours is equivalent to 1 day. So we're talking about just unit conversions here as we go along. So 4,200 times 24, okay, is, okay, so, okay, 100,800 beats per day. And then finally, to get it into beats per year, we're going to multiply both terms of this ratio by 365. Okay, after all, 365 days is 1 year. Okay, and we end up with a fairly large number. Okay, so 3, I'll just write it down first. So 3, 6, 7, 9. Okay, so that's 36,792,000 times in 1 year. Okay, so that's beats per year. Okay, and hence why it's so important to really look after your heart. Your heart does a lot of work, and that's just over the space of 1 year. So imagine over a typical lifetime how many times your heart would beat on average. So looking after your heart, a healthy heart, is very, very important. Okay.